the foreseeable future. Not within. My name is Frank. If you cannot remain calm, we will ask you to leave.
You gave us no information. We have zero information. What are you freaking voting on?
The lack of information to the members feels very intentional.
People you were elected to represent are telling you they don't want something. So it's not even taken into consideration.
Shows the importance of local elections.
If you've heard anything about HOAs, chances are it's been something negative. They have pretty bad reputations, and rightfully so. We've heard horror stories of people being fined hundreds, if not thousands of dollars for ridiculous reasons. Now, the concept of an HOA really isn't a bad idea. It's basically just the members of a neighborhood kind of pooling their resources and working together to make sure that the neighborhood looks nice. But like most things, once people realized they could make money by managing HOAs and fining people, well, that's when the corruption and greed started taking over, and it sort of infested what was otherwise a pretty decent system. Of course, even now, not all HOAs are terrible, but the determining factor for whether you have a decent, kind of chill HOA or nightmare fuel is who's running the show. And that brings me to this video. This may be some of the most blatant corruption and underhandedness that I have ever seen. Now, if you haven't heard a lot of the horror stories and you don't know what makes HOAs so potentially terrible, I recommend watching John Oliver's expose on HOAs from a couple years ago. It is eye-opening, and it will really give you an idea of how bad it can get. But the main takeaway from that is the worst thing that can happen to your HOA is that it's taken over by a management company. Because most, if not all, of the worst stories you hear about families getting fined to the point of having their utilities cut off or even losing their home come from HOAs that have management companies. So I will give you one guess as to what this meeting is about. Let's get into it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks. So real quick, let me set the stage and let you know who everyone is, who all the players are here. This guy is the president, and he has been for a long time, many years. And he should be speaking at this thing, but he will kind of try to explain that he's not for this. And he's going to let his vice president take over because he's afraid he's going to lose his temper. And while I think that's probably true, I think it's also very likely that his vice president here is kind of new to the position, and I think she's letting this power go to her head, and she just wants to take over. And so she is going to run this meeting, sort of. She's going to try and fail. This lady over here doesn't really say much. She's definitely in on it. She is part of the scheme that's going to be happening, but she's not really all that involved. But this guy, when he is introduced, that's when I realized, holy crap, this is really, really corrupt. I cannot believe what I'm hearing here. So just wait when he gets introduced and we will go over why it's such a big deal that he's sitting here right now. And one last thing, and then we'll get started. This happened in around 2020 during the global thing that shall not be named. That's why they're all wearing masks. But that's long enough ago that there were actually some updates. So I can let you know what happened after this. And it's pretty satisfying. So we'll go over that towards the end of the video. And everybody on the board is elected to their position, or at least they're supposed to be.
I can't find them.
Now,
Could you tell me who you are,
no,
please?
I would like to get to that point.
Not being
Started with
how you
that,
start.
I think.
Now is my
Introduce
disclaimer
yourself
to
normally.
the public as a courtesy for transparency and how this meeting will be conducted. As clearly, this is the largest meeting I think the Window Club has ever had in all the time.
How would she know? She's been here 2 years.
A lot of people still don't know who she is, and that's because people tend to just exist in an HOA. A lot of them don't get involved until something pisses them off, or they hear a rumor that they don't like, such as, hey, they're thinking about hiring a management company, which would obviously raise the fees. When that happens, the whole town shows up. Everybody's here for this.
With that being said, please, I would like to start with, my name is Lauren Roth. I am your vice president. I was elected last year, and then I was set into office as vice president by another election. With that being said, Normally, our president, who has been our president for 38 years. With that being said, normally we run the meeting with a prejudice. He also, his voice during this meeting agenda specifically removes him from the speaking platform as his information is not full.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
With that being said,
What does that mean? What does that mean?
It's my pleasure to let the Vice President run this meeting.
Thank you,
This
Mark.
time, we have been at heads on this, and I truly, last meeting, did lose my temper at a meeting, and kind of blew up, and it was felt that maybe it's better to make sure that I keep a reasonable head, where I don't feel like I'm getting attacked by standing up here. Okay? And it's hard for me to defend what is being presented.
So what she said was gibberish, and I think what he's trying to say is he doesn't agree with them on this, and he doesn't want it, but when they would argue about it, he loses his temper, so he's graciously allowing her to speak for him. But I think, like I said at the beginning, she wants to be in control. And he even said, it's hard for me to defend what's being presented here.
It's hard for me to defend what is being presented.
Basically saying, there's nothing I can do about it. She's a Karen with a power fantasy, and he's outnumbered. So I think he's just letting her speak so that she can take the heat, because he doesn't want it.
So, with that being said, we are going to run the meeting slightly differently.
I do not recommend playing a drinking game where you drink every time she says that being said.
Because everyone is here for a reason, and that reason alone. So, with that being said, we will go through our Pledge of Allegiance after. Should we do that first? Okay. First of all, Rich Kaufman, a very valued board member here in the community who's been here quite some time, great family man, and DJ, had a sudden family emergency, and that is why he's not here. But his absence, should he not be able to come for voting, is excused, as he informed us, and so on and so forth. But that is why he's not here.
So she's saying that a board member is not there, but it's okay, it's excused because he's already informed us. Now, nobody's really piecing together what that means just yet, but when they do, just wait.
He is very highly involved in the community and was highly involved in taking place in all of this. Okay, with that being said, to start it off with my quick little talking points. There have been rumors and flyers going around the community, and everyone is allowed public, freedom of speech. And we actually encourage in this community, as it is a tight-knit community and many members have been here for quite some time. We are always encouraging community feedback, community opinion, and we hold our community and what is best for our community at highest regard.
I would like to know what she thinks she might do to stop it. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, they can say we encourage it, but that's only because you can't shut it down.
So, with that, there have been rumors that there are going to be HOA increases and fees for the meeting agenda item of a contract for an outside property management to step in. I would like to dispel that as part of that contract, there will be no HOA fees increases and there will be no assessments within the foreseeable future. Not within.
See, they're not stupid. Nobody here wants this management company, and nobody wants the increase that will inevitably come with a management company. There's no way you can hire a management company and not increase fees. That's obviously going to happen. So already she's losing whatever credibility she might have had by saying something that's so obviously false, and then qualifying it with the weasel words for the foreseeable future.
First and foremost, for all of those who have not been privy or not partaked in budget meetings, our budget for our property management company as of now is roughly $65,000 per fiscal year, not including her complete package, which is insurance, medication, phone, insurance for car, other miscellaneous. Her total package.
So this is where the nonsense really starts. She said the budget is $65,000 for this new management company, and I guess the manager, but that's not including the total package, which is just paying for this person's life, paying her medication and her car insurance. And she was about to say miscellaneous expenses. But this lady over here, rightfully, was like, no, why are we paying for all that? And how much is that going to be? It's $65,000 plus X. And what she's doing right now is trying to make a case for why they need a management company. So she's going to try to make it sound great, like they're saving a bunch of money. And then she's going to kind of use some fear tactics in a bit, saying that if they don't get a management company, bad things could happen financially. So she's trying to sort of get everybody on board, but it's not going to work.
After we do payroll taxes and everything else, we will be saving roughly $20,000. That does not include some of our outstanding contracts that are needing to be reviewed. Does that mean we are going to get rid of our contractors and all as a sweep? No. Does that mean we are going to go by a line item, an agenda, and see what costs are being allocated? Yes.
So she's trying to say that by hiring this management company, they're going to end up saving $20,000. I mean, I very highly doubt that. But then she says that's not including outstanding contracts. So what she's actually saying is, yeah, we're going to save a bunch of money unless we don't, because there might be contracts that we need to keep. But throughout this whole thing, she will be as vague as possible, and I think that's intentional. And HOA management companies exist to make profit, and they want to make more and more profit every year. So they probably make it sound pretty good right up front by saying, oh yeah, you're going to end up saving $20,000. But first of all, they'll probably offset that by fining everybody for the wrong length of grass in their yard. But also long term, you will end up paying far more with a management company because they have overhead. And again, they're in it for profit.
We anticipate having about $100,000 within our first year in savings.
Bro, even the president is like, no, hell no, this is so stupid.
Are we just gonna be lied to like the entire time?
So at this point, she starts explaining that they should be allocating $1.2 million to this catastrophe fund for whatever reason.
We should have $1.2 million allocated in this community on our working budget in lieu of any catastrophes.
And they were only able to allocate like half of that, or less than half. Also, it should not be in lieu of. That's basically saying instead of. It should have been in case of a catastrophe. So she uses that as a jumping off point to try to explain how they can make up all those hundreds of thousands of dollars. And it should be as simple as saying either we raise the fees or we cut costs. But let's listen to her try to explain a very simple concept to a lot of people who probably understand it pretty well.
To continue in the same fashion could easily lead to a numerous amounts of issues financially. Like what? Those issues are not limited or included to bankruptcy.
She comes off as somebody who really wants to use big words, but doesn't know how. And so she says stuff like, they are not limited or included to. Like, good try.
Assessments. And for those of you who do not know what assessments are, when you sign your contract for your HOA, and it says, I am part of this community, and here is my signature, and that community does not allocate their finances and funding correctly, they are allowed to come to your door and state you owe X amount of dollars because our funding is not efficient for the costs ahead.
She's being so hateful, you know? Like, I don't know that that tone is necessary.
That is one way that you can be advised to collect your money, or a more personal approach, instead of just saying, well, let's charge these people this because we made mistakes and it is what it is. Then you turn around and you say, where can we cut costs in our budget to prevent hurting the public? So therefore, you go through your contracts. And our contract for our maintenance is $120,000. That could be allocated to $90,000 for the same kind of work from a different company, because it is 2020 and it is competitive. So this is how budget works. This is how you fund your community. Aside from collecting your HOA fees that are due to you, you then fund it by making sure that your contracts are in accordance and that your money is being allocated in transparent ways and saving your community to the most of its ability. So yes, there are many ways. You could say we're raising HOA fees to $500 because we're not getting money. Or we can say we're keeping the HOA at a whopping low 180 for our people because we understand the need and the wants of the community.
So it sounded like the lady that interrupted her said something to the effect of, somebody has been doing the job of a whole management company for 30 years. And if I had to guess, I think her point was it's much cheaper if we just hire somebody local than hiring a whole company, which again exists to maximize profit for itself. But then somebody cut her off and said, let's hear her out, which is fair, except I don't think you're going to get much clarity from Vice President Karen there.
So with that, on our website, which is located, is it on this one, on this side? Okay, so I thought it was printed on here, sorry, it wasn't. It is windmillclubnj.com. All of our bylaws, master deeds, amendments, resolutions, meetings, any kind of information you need to receive, cleaning your fence, so on and so forth, will be on that website. Now, we did not have the budget up, but I think it's apparent, since this group is very much into the finances, that we will post the budget so that each and every one of you can sit in the comfort of your own home and read each line item and the amount of money that is allocated for that. And you can come up to a conclusion by looking at an actual factual piece of printed paper that we use for our accounting.
Which we've had in the
For after this.
What about if you don't have a computer?
If you do not have a computer, or you don't have technology, or you know what? You're not good at technology because it's crazy.
You're very confident.
Very, right? Oh my God. Very.
All right, so this I think is just a misunderstanding, but the problem is she's been so hateful the entire time. She's been so adversarial that I think she was trying to sort of make a joke, like a lighthearted observation that, man, you know, technology is crazy, isn't it? But everybody took it as her making fun of them, and I don't blame them because she has kind of come off that way this entire time for no reason.
Who starts a meeting with such hostility?
My elderly grandmother who served in the war.
What?
You can say whatever you want, that's fine.
Oh my God.
Come on, we ain't wasting time.
We work to Clubhouse and pick it up. We can email it to you.
Oh my
We can
God.
have someone here to disperse that information to you. Either way, we can get that information out to you through various outlets.
She got a little defensive there talking about her grandma who was in the war because I guess she doesn't like technology either. And she has yet to reveal just how underhanded and deceptive she is and how corrupt this board is. But at least for now, I will give her credit for just moving on.
You will receive that information.
How was she elected?
Are you crying?
Okay, so with that,
Really?
Should be crying.
now that everyone has said
Shows the
about
importance of
finances
local
and we're
elections.
not raising fees.
Yeah, he makes a great point. Like I said, most people in an HOA just exist. They don't get involved. They don't know what's going on until it starts affecting them. All of a sudden, their fees go up or something bad is going to happen. And then they go, wait a minute, I don't like this. Who is this person? I don't want this person. I want somebody else. It's too late now. Too bad. You should have voted. You should have paid attention. You can't sit at home during the election and then complain when the people that got elected are ruining everything in an HOA. And these people that got elected are going to show this community just what they're made of.
With that being said, we run on a January to January budget. January to December. That is the budget we run. So that would be the fiscal year. With that being also said, when signing for the new HOA company, they will be bringing a different approach to the community. So they will also be here in our next open meeting that will be posted on our front boards, that will be posted on our websites, that hopefully will be gotten to each and every door. And you can bring your questions, concerns, meet and greet, and see what they have to offer.
Why aren't they here now to tell us what they're
Right.
Don't we get to decide if we want a management company?
Yes. Yeah.
Did you hear that? He said, don't we get to decide if we want a management company? And she says, no. Now, what we're going to find out here in just a minute, the reason everybody's here is because they all think they're going to vote on whether or not they want a management company. And they're all there, presumably, to vote no. Well, not only are they in for a big surprise, but this is when we're going to find out just how underhanded all of this really was.
Exactly. No. You have no say.
The bylaws state that there is a 75% community clause if we are changing the bylaws, meaning we are going to siding, vinyl versus a T111.
What? Who said that?
No, she said.
Propose for the unraisable dues.
It's an example.
She's really just giving an example, but again, she has lost all credibility at this point, and she's lost the crowd. Everybody has turned on her, so they're not really going to give her the benefit of the doubt.
It's an example. So, like if we were...
She said.
So, if someone says that we want to change to siding, we want vinyl siding and not T111, and T111 is in our bylaws. Yeah, but we have to pay for it.
$170 a month. What are you smoking? No increases.
Honestly, she deserves this.
It's an example. We are not doing that. The gentleman asked if I thought we
Just
had
on the-
to
just happened to think of that.
75% of the vote to sign a contract. We do not. The example I was giving for the community to better understand is if we were to do something such as decide to go with vinyl siding. That is not in our bylaws, and we would require 75% of the community to agree before being able to do it. However, contracts. Contracts.
Yes, absolutely. We live here.
Are at the
How long
board's
have you lived
discretion,
here?
which includes mowing, maintenance.
Contracts are at the board's discretion. Now remember, one of the board members isn't even there, and we have yet to hear from the mystery man right here, so just wait.
The master deed and bylaws gives the association permission to do inside management, outside management, hire a management company, okay? And so it's in the bylaws that the association has. You elect the board of trustees to make those decisions. That's the way the rule works.
Who's that? He wasn't elected.
Okay, that's the law. It's our bylaws.
Who is that on the board? We don't know who that is.
Who's that? Who is that?
So the president said, you elect us to make these decisions for you, basically. And now they're saying, who is that? Who's this guy that is making the decisions for us?
We didn't elect him.
First of all, we will not refer to people as that. That is not who is
Introduce everything.
Hello, everyone. My name is Frank. How are you this evening?
Not well, Clark.
I am an interim board member. I'm
Who voted you in?
Will you appoint you?
My name is Frank.
If you cannot remain calm, we will ask you to leave.
Well, it's you to leave. You got voted in, we'll vote you out.
I was asked to be on the board by the Board of Trustees in lieu of Mike, who left the community and sold his unit. As per our message,
Why don't we know who you are yet? Just say, you guys
So yeah, the board just asked him to join and didn't tell anybody about it. And I would bet money that by the board, he means Vice President Karen. Everybody else was elected, but he got to just waltz right in and start making decisions. One of the biggest decisions this HOA has ever had. And from the looks of it, nobody even knows who he is. So is he new to town? Does he even live there? And how confident can they be that he doesn't have any ties to the management company that they're trying to push through so hard?
my name is Frank.
If you cannot remain calm, we will ask you to leave.
Well, it's you to leave. You got voted in, we'll vote you out.
I was asked to be on the board by the Board of Trustees in lieu of Mike, who left the community and sold his unit. As per our message,
Why don't we know who you are yet? Just say,
What did he say?
He's on Facebook. He's not saying it to him.
Yeah.
So wait, there's a board member who wasn't voted in at all?
No, he wasn't voted in at all. He's appointed.
I just should have walked.
I love how she's like, just sit down. Everybody's pissed off. We figured they would be, but we're going to do this anyway. We don't care.
We will now take our vote.
what are we voting for?
You aren't voting for anything. The board is voting for a management company.
Our management company.
You gave us no information. We have zero information. What are you freaking voting on?
Can I explain?
I am here. You've got a little thing saying blah, blah, blah. What you're saying is misleading. What information are you doing here? We have no information on the company here. You're one to hire. We have no information to compare apples to apples. Now you're voting on what?
That's a big problem, right? They say, we want to hire this management company. Why this one? Have you not compared the cost to other management companies? And that's why all of this feels so underhanded and corrupt. And it feels like somebody on the board is somehow involved with the management company. The lack of information to the members feels very intentional.
Let's not be all crazy here.
Absolutely. How long have you lived here?
Okay, so with that being said, thank you
That
very
being
much.
said.
We
What do you mean? What do you mean that being said? You didn't say anything.
3 companies. After reviewing those 3 companies and meeting with those 3 companies.
What's your commission to one of those companies?
She says they met with 3 companies, but her source is, trust me, bro, but there is no trust at this point. She has lost all credibility. And then the hero in the audience says, what is your commission with one of those companies? And that's exactly what it feels like. It feels like one, if not all of them, have some sort of incentive to push this through right now.
Okay, we're going to wrap this up.
What are you wrapping up? You didn't do anything. We never go in there.
How could you vote without even knowing what the question is? There's a list of people to speak. You haven't allowed anybody to speak. You think they can vote?
Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, please,
Can
I talk for a second? Ladies and gentlemen, the meeting's here to try to give you guys some information.
No, it's not. She doesn't want to.
Actually, it feels like the opposite of that.
Hear me out. Hear me out. Come on. Hey, let's be civil. I'm being civil. I'm not raising my.
Are you a homeowner?
Yes, I am. 17 years.
Okay.
17 years I've been here. All right. All right. Let's hear what
People
they have
up
to
front
say,
aren't good
all right?
people.
I realize you guys. Hey, listen. This is new to me. Hear me out, young lady. Hear us out, okay? All right. Let's hear what they have to say.
But she's not giving us information.
Yeah, it is too late for that. And information was not the goal here. Voting with as little information given feels like the goal.
So I see your weapon. Are you here to hire as a security person?
I don't think you have.
I can give CPR.
I even got up, guys. All right? Sorry, even got up.
I mean, I guess he meant well, but that was pretty stupid. Has he not been paying attention at all during this meeting? she's being drowned out by everybody complaining and stuff. And so they're going to get a microphone. But this, this is honestly my favorite part of this whole thing, because if you didn't think it could get any stupider, just wait.
Karaoke. No.
It's a kid's karaoke machine. And you saw how big that crowd is. That's so stupid. That is that is the encapsulation of this entire meeting. It's this lady pulling out this tiny karaoke machine. I mean, this is peak comedy.
Am I here now?
Is that a child's karaoke machine?
Yes, friend, it is.
No. You're louder. You're louder than the mic.
That's ridiculous.
Where's Tommy?
Football.
And?
He's a Megan, Bonnie's daughter.
Is he bringing it? Where's he bringing it?
She's going home at 7:30, unless I go.
Who's going to be home at 7:30?
She's going to have to bring to me.
You didn't tell her to bring here?
The agenda items and the property management company will be dispersing the information to you for what they bring to the association, what they're going to do.
Yeah, they're going to give them the information after they hire them.
In October, which is only about 3 weeks away, our next open meeting, they will be here so that you can speak with them, you can ask them questions, you will get your information.
I wouldn't sign anything.
No.
No, we are moving to vote to make the choice. Okay, we're going to put the motion through.
Amongst the board, not us.
To how we want, if we want a property management company.
They want.
And
They
then-
want.
No, you don't. Only the board votes.
So this is what we're going to do.
They appointed the person who's going to vote they want for their third
People
vote.
are going to make the choice for the rest of the 380.
You will look at now at this point, after the agenda items, we're going to have a motion to move a vote to vote for a management company. Who's voting? Well, no. So I want to.
Can't we just vote her out right now? Can we just say the way it goes? Like, go away.
Yes, I
Get
know.
a management company.
We have no right.
I will second. I third it.
And Rich did fourth it, but he is unable to attend.
That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. Rich doesn't support this.
Let's think about what's happening here, all right? Let's put all the pieces together. The president, going into this, knew that nobody wanted this. On top of that, they have some rando that they appointed to vote, and then the one board member who, according to several people in the audience, was against this, just happens to not be there for this particular meeting, and they are speaking for him, saying, oh yeah, totally wants this, totally fine. And then at the end there, when everybody complains and says, that's not what Rich would want, she just goes,
Rich doesn't support this.
completely dismissive of anything anybody's saying. And that sums up all of this pretty nicely. It's all dismissive. They don't care what their members want. In my opinion, they had some sort of incentive. They were either getting some sort of discount for themselves or immunity to fines, or there's no telling, but they likely got something in return for getting this management company in the door. I can't think of another reason to be this underhanded, but it is so on the nose and so blatant that all they're doing is just making a bunch of enemies.
You should wait till he's here.
Rich has been loudly against this.
No.
So the president voted no, and he knew he was going to be outnumbered. There really wasn't much he could do. So I imagine it's probably pretty frustrating for him to sit there and just watch this all play out, knowing he's the president of the board and can't really do anything about it. But at least he made his opinion known. So hopefully that counts for something with the community.
To select PRC Group as our management company. I put forth the motion and I move that. Rich is not here. He has cast his vote.
I say during this meeting, we can't hear you. There's no order. You're not making sense.
That would be the vote that we voted to get a management company named PRC Group here in the community.
So you're not making
No.
If you would like to go on the website and see them, you're
No, I would not like to do that.
However, they will receive after we.
I don't understand something. So you make the decision for all these people.
Yep.
Yep. That's okay. She'll get voted out. It's okay.
Who else made that decision?
We don't want
Who
her.
wants the management company?
And I understand that feeling, right? I understand, like, well, let's vote her out. But, I mean, the damage is already done. You should have been there to vote the first time.
You can make yourself sound.
No management company.
That is an overwhelming no. And they knew that going into it. It's not like they didn't know they were going to get this kind of response.
The people you were elected to represent are telling you they don't want something. It's not even taken into consideration.
I could write a better fucking voting in essay than you.
Some people are up for election in November. It's important to remember that.
She's not going to be here. It's okay.
She's not up for election, Tara. I know what you're talking about.
Our next open board meeting is tentatively set and will be posted for October.
Is this Russia, Cuba? Is this Russia or Cuba?
Be here on October 14th to have this meeting with you, and you can bring up all your questions and concerns after you receive your correspondence.
Once they've been hired, it's a little late for questions and concerns. So she continues like this for a little while, just pretending like nobody's yelling at her. But then she brings up a legitimate issue that they need to discuss about the lake in the neighborhood.
Really quickly, you will see postings going out, and this is important. Postings going out for this lake. This lake is going to have a major project done to it.
Who's paying for that? Who's paying for that? No.
So it turns out that it's actually an insurance thing. And this is a legitimate project that the insurance is sort of making them do. The problem is nobody trusts her at this point. So no matter what she says, they're all just going to assume that there's some ulterior motive.
So, if we do not address the lake issues, our insurance will go up.
You're not going to do with EPA.
Now, as far as fishing on the lake goes, our insurance is very low on the lake, and that insurance is because it is a non-fishing, hunting, no-use game, skiing, boating, sitting.
It's a non-recreational lake, is what she's trying to say.
Swimming lake.
Nobody
if the
does
insurance
that.
company catches wind that we've had fishing on this lake where there's falls,
Come on, it's an 8-year-old kid.
And this is legit. The insurance company is actually saying they can't fish there. But again, she's lost so much credibility. What they hear is, I'm hiring a management company, whether you like it or not. And also, say goodbye to your fishing, suckers. I'm the fun police now, too.
Daisy!
Listen. A lot of you called me asking about the lake. All the storm drains all around the community in every circle drain into the lake.
Basically, she says that yes, this is legit. So what's happening is Daisy, the lady who had a problem with everybody paying for the new manager's medications and stuff, which makes sense, she has to step up there and actually say, yeah, the insurance is actually saying that the lake needs to be redone or whatever. And they will listen to her because they trust her. They were not going to believe anything coming out of the vice president's mouth. So in order to actually get a legitimate point across, she had to get somebody else who was not on the board to step up and say, actually, this is real. We really do have to do some work on the lake to get it up to code or whatever it is for the insurance. And that's the way it's going to be for as long as these people are on the board. Nobody's going to trust them. Nobody's going to believe anything they say. Rightfully so. But the good news is we actually have an update for what happened shortly after this. So the person that uploaded this said, just an update, a few months after this, the man sitting next to the woman speaking, and I think he's talking about Mr. Appointee here, was defeated in an election. The woman speaking resigned her position because she didn't have a majority of votes anymore. No one forced her off, but she's so full of herself and entitled that when she saw she wasn't going to be able to run the HOA how she wanted, with no opposition, and she wasn't going to be able to give away management contracts to whoever she wanted, instead of letting the person who had been running it all along, and they said literally my entire life, so the person in the neighborhood that had been running the HOA had been doing it for like 30 years. And he says that they had really worked hard at it. But once she realized she wasn't going to be able to just give a contract to her friend or, you know, get a kickback or whatever without anybody opposing her, she resigned. She then sold her house and is moving somewhere else. And so did the man who was voted out that was sitting next to her. He was defeated in an election and it was 101 to 5. And I would bet money that that's the biggest turnout for a vote that they've ever had. And I would also bet that the 5 were these 3 dinguses and a couple of their spouses. And none of them will ever know if it was their spouse that didn't vote for them. And apparently it's pretty standard to sign a 5-year contract with a management company. And if they did, it would be up pretty close to about now. This was uploaded about 5 years ago, 5-6 years ago. So I'm gonna guess they just didn't renew the contract because everybody was gone that gave them the contract. But they've had to deal with the management company since then, but I think that that's over now. So I just thought this was so fascinating because they really had no F's to give when it came to throwing their neighbors under the bus, seemingly so that they could get some sort of benefit from the management company. I can't think of any other reason to be this, like I said, blatantly corrupt. It was very clear there was an ulterior motive here. They had a reason to push this through while a board member was missing who probably was against this, and they just said he wasn't. And then we have, again, a rando that nobody knew filling in and voting when he wasn't elected. So the corruption is wild, but this is not terribly unusual when Karens get involved because they have that power fantasy, right? That they can do whatever they want. They start negotiating and they feel like they're in the room where it happens, you know? So they love that feeling and they let it go to their head. And so she was willing to, just, like I said, throw everybody else under the bus because their lives were going to be made much worse and probably were much worse over the last 5 years by introducing a management company to the HOA. It never makes it better, I promise. It will always make it worse. And as a matter of fact, we're in an HOA. It's a tiny little neighborhood, so we don't have a management company or anything. And we used to have a president, but he passed away. But I realize how lucky I am to be in a neighborhood where we all know each other, we all get along, and if there are any issues, we know we can talk to our neighbors about it, and there won't be any fights or anything like that. But it's becoming more and more difficult to find a home that's not in an HOA, if you can find a home at all these days. And again, I recommend watching John Oliver's expose because then you'll get a real idea of how evil things can get when the people running a thing like an HOA are purely profit driven. And it's not just trying to get profit, it's trying to get more and more and more profit every single year. Whereas if you just have somebody in your neighborhood or a group of people in your neighborhood running things, their focus won't be making as much money as humanly possible constantly. So anyway, I just thought this was fascinating. So I appreciate you guys so much. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.